My dear friend, I never thought I would find myself writing words like these. But perhaps this letter is not just for you, it is also for me. Because sometimes when the silence of this house grows too loud, when the chair across from mine at the dinner table stays empty for too long, when I realize I have not spoken out loud in hours, I feel the need to pour my heart somewhere. And so I write. Maybe one day someone will read these words and understand the kind of loneliness that comes, not from being alone, but from losing the one person who made life feel full. I was married to my wife, Margaret, for 52 years. We met when I was just a young man working at a small hardware store in town. She walked in looking for a garden hose, and I knew right then and there that I had found something worth more than all the riches in the world. We were not perfect people, but we were perfect for each other. She was the steady ground beneath my restless feet. She was the smile waiting for me after long shifts. She was the reason this old heart of mine ever learned how to love. Together we built a life. We raised 3 children. We paid mortgage. We attended school plays. We argued over groceries. We laughed in the middle of nights when we could not sleep. There were years when money was tight, years when health scares knocked on our door, years when we worried if we were doing enough for the kids. But through it all, Margaret was there. She was my partner in every storm, my best friend in every season, my home no matter where we lived. And then one day, just like that, she was gone. It was not sudden, at least not to the doctors. They had told us months earlier that her heart was weak, that her body was tired. But for me, it was sudden. For me, it was a thief in the night robbing me of half my soul. Because how can you ever truly be ready to say goodbye to the person who has been your entire world for more than 5 decades? You think you are prepared, you try to be strong, you whisper to yourself that it is part of life, but when it finally happens, you realize there is no preparing for the silence that follows. The first morning without her was the hardest. I woke up and reached out to her side of the bed only to feel cold sheets. For years, even in her sickness, I had grown used to hearing her soft breathing, to feeling her presence. That morning there was nothing, just an emptiness that spread through the room and into my chest. I sat on the edge of the bed and cried like a child. I'm not ashamed to say that. When you lose your other half, you are allowed to break. Since then, the days have been long. People tell you time heals, but they do not tell you how slow that healing feels when you are counting the hours alone. The children call sometimes. They visit when they can, and I know they love me, but they have their own lives, their own families. And though they care, they do not understand. They cannot. They still have their partners to share their evenings with, their jokes, their frustrations. I had one person to share all that with, and she is gone. It is not the big moments that break me, it is the small ones. The empty chair at breakfast, the missing voice in the kitchen, the silence during television shows we used to watch together, the way I still catch myself turning to tell her something, only to remember she is not there. I never realized how much of life's joy comes from having someone to witness it with you. Now, when something funny happens, I have no one to laugh with. When something upsets me, I have no one to complain to. When the sun sets, I have no hand to hold. Friends try to comfort me. Some of them are widowed too, and they tell me they know the feeling. I believe them. But loneliness is a deeply personal thing. Even when surrounded by others, you still feel the ache in your chest because no one else can fill the space your spouse once held. Margaret was not just my wife. She was my history. She was the one person who remembered everything with me, who shared all the little details that made up a lifetime. Without her, I feel like half my memories are locked away, because only she had the key. Nights are the hardest. The world goes quiet and you are left alone with your thoughts. I walk through this house, our house, and I see her everywhere. The photographs on the walls. The quilt she sewed that still covers the couch. The old mug she used for tea still sitting in the cupboard. Sometimes I talk to her picture. Sometimes I even whisper into the empty room, pretending she can still hear me. It may sound foolish, but it helps me breathe. There are days when I do not want to get out of bed. Days when I think, what is the point? Who even notices if I eat breakfast or not? And then there are days when I remind Myself that Margaret would not want me to waste the time I have left. She would want me to keep living, to keep going, to keep finding meaning even in the emptiness. But knowing that and feeling that are two very different things. You see, when you lose a spouse, you do not just lose a person. You lose routines. You lose traditions. You lose the simple comfort of knowing someone is always on your side. It feels like being set adrift with no anchor. You spend years building a life around someone, and when they are gone, the house feels too big, the days feel too long, and the nights feel unbearable. What makes it harder is how the world moves on. Neighbors stop bringing casseroles after the funeral. Friends stop checking in as often. People go back to their routines, but for you, nothing is routine anymore. You are stuck in the echo of what was. People mean well when they say things like stay strong or she is in a better place, but those words do not touch the loneliness that lingers. I have learned that grief does not disappear. It becomes part of you, like a scar you carry forever. Some days it aches less, some days it throbs so badly you can hardly breathe, but it never fully goes away. And maybe it should not, because love that deep leaves a mark. Maybe grief is just another form of love, love with no place to go. If you are reading this and you still have your spouse beside you, hold them tighter. Do not take the small moments for granted. Do not assume there will always be another tomorrow. Sit with them at breakfast. Listen to their stories even if you have heard them 100 times. Kiss them good night, because when those moments are gone, you will give anything to have them back. If you are reading this and you have lost your spouse too, know that you are not alone, even though it feels like it. I know the weight you carry. I know the silence that haunts your house. I know the way tears come without warning when you see something that reminds you of them. And I know the way people expect you to be strong when inside you feel broken. But we survive. We keep going because that is what our partners would want. We carry their memory forward with us in every breath and every step. I write this letter not because I have all the answers, but because I need to say the truth out loud. Losing your spouse is like losing half of yourself. Life does not feel whole anymore. And yet somehow we must go on. Somehow we must find meaning in the quiet, comfort in the memories, strength in the love that still lingers even though the person is gone. When I close my eyes at night, I sometimes imagine Margaret sitting beside me again. I imagine her laughter, her gentle hand on mine, her voice telling me it is going to be all right. Maybe it is just my mind trying to heal itself, or maybe it is her spirit visiting me. I do not know, but I choose to believe that love never truly dies. It stays with us in ways we may not understand. So tonight, as I finish this letter, I want to leave you with this thought: love deeply while you can. Appreciate every day with the person you share your life with. Because when that chair is empty, when that side of the bed is cold, when the house grows too quiet, you will realize that those ordinary moments were the most extraordinary gift of all. And if, like me, you are already living in that silence, then let us promise each other this: we will keep going. We will carry their love with us. We will not let the loneliness consume the memory of what was beautiful. Because love this strong deserves to be remembered, with a heavy heart, but also with gratitude for the years I was blessed to have. Robert.
To everyone listening right now, especially to my elders, I want to take this time to speak directly to your heart. Life is not always easy, especially as the years go by. The body becomes slower, the nights feel longer, the house can feel quieter, and sometimes the people you love are no longer right beside you. But I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. I am here, speaking these words to you, because I want you to feel that someone cares for you. Someone remembers you, and someone will not leave you behind. I know that many of you carry stories inside you, stories that are beautiful and painful, stories of love, of sacrifice, of struggle, of joy. You have lived through years that others only read about in books. You have seen the world change before your eyes, and yet sometimes you may feel invisible, as though the world has moved on and forgotten you. But hear me clearly, you are not forgotten. Your voice still matters, your story still matters, and you still matter. There are days, I know, when waking up feels heavy, the body aches, the mind wanders, and memories of people who are no longer here can bring tears to your eyes. Sometimes you may sit by the window and watch the world go by, wondering if anyone notices the pain you hide in your heart. But even in those quiet, lonely hours, I want you to remember that I am here. Every word I speak is for you. Every message I share is meant to remind you that someone is walking beside you, even if it is only through these words. You see, we all need someone to remind us that we are not alone. And if you have ever felt like no one is listening, I want you to know that I am. If you have ever felt like no one cares, I do. And if you have ever felt like life has become too heavy, remember that even the heaviest burdens feel lighter when shared. That is why I am here. Not to lecture you, not to judge you, but simply to sit with you, to walk with you, and to remind you that your heart is still strong and your life is still meaningful. Sometimes the nights can be the hardest. When the house is quiet and the memories rise, it can feel like the silence is louder than anything else. But let me tell you this, you are stronger than you think. Every wrinkle on your face is not just a sign of age, it is a story of survival. Every scar, every ache, every grey hair is proof that you have lived, that you have endured, that you have kept going even when life tried to break you. That deserves respect, that deserves love. And that is what I am giving you here and now. I know some of you may feel left out in this fast world. Technology changes, the young seem busy, and sometimes even family members forget to call. That can hurt deeply. But in this space, you are not forgotten. This channel, these words, they exist for you. If you ever feel lonely, if you ever feel like you need a friend, I want you to know that you can always come back here. With one simple step, you can stay connected. Subscribe, and I promise that every time you return, you will find a message waiting for you. A message of hope, of love, of belonging. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not alone. I am here, and I will keep being here as long as you let me. So stay with me. Do not walk away from this moment. Make the choice to hold on, to stay close, to never let go. Because together, we can make even the darkest nights feel a little brighter. This is my message to you, my heart to yours, my voice to your soul. And all I ask in return is that you let me stay with you. Click subscribe, and you will never have to feel like I am gone. Together, we will keep walking this journey, hand in hand, heart to heart, never alone again. A reminder that though the body is aging, the spirit still has work to do. Maybe it is work of memory, maybe of healing, maybe of prayer. Maybe it is simply the work of sitting with one's own soul and realizing that being awake is itself a kind of miracle. In the end, the question is not why old people wake up at 3 in the morning. The question is, what would they do with that hour? What meaning will they give it? Will they let it weigh them down? Or will they let it lift them into gratitude? Because every time the eyes open at 3 a.m., it is not just the end of sleep. It is another chance to live, to remember, and to hold life a little closer. And if you are here listening right now, I want to leave you with this blessing. May your nights be peaceful. May your mornings be filled with light. And may every hour you are given remind you that your story still matters. You are not alone in this journey, and your life is still a gift. If this message touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. It helps us share more wisdom, more comfort, and more reminders that you are never forgotten. Stay with us, because together, even the quiet hours of the night can feel a little less lonely.